Mm, mm, Ah! So fire! Oh my god! I love it. Alright. Damn, it's not extended. Let me make sure it sounds good. Mm, 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 mm. Testing. Testing. Testing, testing. Testing, testing, testing. Testing, testing, testing. Why is it so loud? Testing. I think it's the mic. Why is it so loud? Testing. Alright, I think it's good. Alright, I think it's good. Yeah, that sounds good. Y'all let me know if it's not. Dude, I fucking love that song. Alright. Alright, so today I'm getting coached by the GOAT himself, Peabnut. You know, he had to work on Jordan, etc. Let's go. Say fuck you, Mystic. Wi-Fi practice. Ugh.
Maybe one of these soon, a late night stream where we get a little drunk might happen. Maybe. Maybe for 500 followers. Maybe. Johnny like remodeled the place, it's been so much better space-wise. Dibs is upgraded so fucking hard. I hope you get twerked up on this match. Never line, fuck Luigi, fuck him up. I got you. I've played this matchup a couple times before. But actually, you are playing kind of annoying.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Alright, bet. So, you said prepared questions for you. I have stuff laid out. I have, like, what I've been working on. I have things that I think I'm weak at. And I have a process, but I don't know how good my process is.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. Go ahead and just share your notes with me.
Alright, here, I'll share my screen.
Also, just a heads up, you can feel free to record this session. You can feel free to take any notes on this session. And you can feel free to ask questions at any point.
Alright. Yeah, no, I'm streaming it if that's okay, so I don't have to record it and save space.
Yeah, that works.
But I don't think anybody's going to be watching. Yeah, so anyway, so the one thing, I within the past few years, I got super interested in learning and, just theory and psychology. Like, I'm just really interested in the process itself. And I use this in other aspects of my life. But I don't know exactly how to set my goals, and I think that's what fucks me up, because when I play with people, I have for instance, I was like, when I go in and play, I'm gonna practice because I'm a better ledge trapper than corner pressure, I think, and so I was like, I'm gonna practice, trying to transition better, or recognizing when I should transition, like how Leo changed the game or whatever. So I'll have concrete things that I go and experiment with, but I don't think I have good goals for my tournament. And I also know that result-based goals, I want to lose 10 pounds by this set amount of time, aren't necessarily always good. They're just better as a milestone or a marker to see your progress. So,
So, everything you said just now is awesome. It's based. I've been thinking about the importance of wanting things and thus making goals for them, and why goals are good for you. Because anyone can be yeah, having a goal is good, but do we know the exact reasons why?
yeah.
And what you've written down here, so you're telling me you can have you have more concrete things that you work on, I'm gonna go into this set and I'm gonna try to practice this thing, or that thing, or in this other example you said I'm gonna decrease my weight by 10 pounds by this time. But what you want is you want a broader goal. Would that be would I be accurate in saying that?
Top five, best player in the world broad goal, or I want to get a better advantage state goal, or both?
Let's say here, let me look at my goals just to refresh myself. So we could say let's say when I say broad goal, I don't mean something that is like tangible or like can be measured, right? Like,
Okay.
if you have the goal to lose 10 pounds by this time, that is giving you strict requirements.
Yeah.
That is answering a when and a what, right? Gonna lose 10 pounds
So like
by
improving my mentality.
yeah.
That's I think that is my biggest issue actually right now too.
Okay.
Okay, so that's my broad goal, right? It's improve my mentality. And it doesn't have to be any more broader than that.
So I don't think it does. No,
Okay.
I mean, how can you get more broader than that?
Yeah, you can't.
So when it comes to learning, first of all, I like that you're so invested and interested in learning. But let's talk about the basis of learning, or at least what I think is the basis. I could be wrong here, but hey, maybe I'll learn what it really is one day.
Yeah.
But whenever you don't know something, and you want to know something, you just ask a question about it. And same thing for like if you want something tangible, like an umbrella, you could just ask someone for it. So if you want to get better at asking questions, you should be more specific. And if you need to be more specific, you need to answer the who, what, when, where, why of the situation, right? So when we apply that to Smash, which is what we're going to do in a little bit, we're going to be able to like find out more about any given decision or situation that happens in the match. Follow?
Yeah.
A lot of what I do is just asking questions, not only to other people, but to myself. Makes it way easier to like, if I use myself as like a second person to ask questions to, then I can like hear out loud what I'm saying, and then I can take that information in, interpret what's good, what's bad about it, whether it's accurate, whatever, right?
See, that's literally something I realized yesterday is that I don't ask myself enough questions. Like, I feel like I do it intuitively, like, or maybe that's just like human nature to do it intuitively, but like, some of my best VOD review sessions myself is whenever I ask myself specific questions. Or like yesterday, I found this interesting research paper on like feedback, and in the article they were talking about like just asking yourself basic questions and like, or it was saying like who told you were good at something, who told you were bad at something. Like they were seeing like where these preconceptions came out in your mind, and like they asked me like, or they didn't ask me, but they asked like specific questions, and it like made me think, and I was like, wow, like why haven't I been doing this and applying this to Smash? Because that's what, you know, fighting games are. You ask the opponent a question consistently, and then they give you your answer.
That research paper?
Yeah, I could do that.
Okay, bet.
Just remind me when it's over, or actually I'll just look for it now. Let me see.
Okay.
But Bet, what were you gonna say?
It's good that you've already experienced this, right? The benefits of asking yourself questions. You said it yourself. The like best study times you've had are when you're asking yourself stuff. So you've already had it. You've already had some of that experience. Have you already looked at this Luigi VOD?
Yeah, I looked at it today. And I only compiled like a little notes, but like the main thing that I figured out, I was like why does he make me so mad? Cause like I don't know, I could watch it back and I could viscerally see like how fucking mad I was the whole time, and so like I figured out why he makes me mad. Now I don't know where to go from after that, but I'll have to find that. But yeah, let me see. I wrote it. Like, I only looked at it briefly to make sure that, like, I know, but I was like, for some reason, like, I'll have game plans when I go into matches, but I kind of, like, passively digest them and then think about them intuitively. So, what I feel like I was trying to accomplish, which is a goal I've been working on, is this thing Ramses was talking about once, and he was saying that you have to make your, basically, if you can see my mouse or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you make your opponent feel strong, like, they'll swing. So, like, for instance, with Joker, like, if Luigi loves rising fair's air, so, like, I would jump near him, you know, make him think I'm approaching, and then he's going to give me what I want, and then, you know, then I do, but I don't know what to do after, so I guess that's why it doesn't work. But, and I also don't think that I looked at the common interactions enough, which is something I'll do. And funny story, we played a few weeks ago, and it was game 5, and I had a VOD, but he popped off and slammed the table, so the VOD got corrupted, and I didn't have that VOD. I at least have one now.
That sucks. So I'm glad that you value the VODs, though. There are so many, like, instances where students will tell me, like, a real life thing that might have that created an issue for them. Usually it's someone like, oh yeah, I couldn't get the VOD at this local, and well, I'm a practical thinker, so I tell them, okay, well, what could you have done instead? And then I give them, well, I'll hear their theory first, and it's usually not something super practical, right? It's something like, I don't know what I could have done. Maybe, like, save the VODs on the Switch, right? Like, save them as replays on the Switch.
Yeah.
But, like, couldn't you have just asked a TO, hey, can I be on stream? Or maybe you could have, like, brought a recording setup. It sounded like that's what you did.
Yeah, I have a portable capture card.
Yep.
So
is it like a red prism?
Yeah, it's fire.
Yeah, I love that thing.
Yeah, I've had like 100 times the VODs ever since I got it.
So good job on you. So this seems like an issue that occurred for you even when you like fixed the first issue. The first issue was I needed VODs. You already fixed that. You got the prism. Second issue, you probably didn't like want advice on this, but like let's quickly think through it. What can we do in the future to prevent your VOD from getting corrupted?
The reason it happened, so when he slammed the table, the switch goes out the dock, and so the power to the capture card was gone. So like I would have to plug it into a wall or a PC, but that was a really big monthly I hosted, and so we had limited setup space. So I guess there wasn't anything I could do other than tell him not to like. Well, I don't know how I would have did it, but I could order like one of the USB plugins or something, so that way that doesn't happen. But also, he popped off today, and he didn't slam the table. So, not today, Saturday or Sunday, whenever it was. But
so, you can just tell him directly, or you could just make it a rule at your tourney, since it is your tourney. That's what it sounds like. Like, hey guys, don't slam the table.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, that's what I said. The next after that tournament, I made a rule that if you slam the tournament, you just get a DQ.
Word. That's big.
Yeah. Dude, it's funny. As I was telling him that, like, dude, what the fuck? Don't slam the table. Somebody else on the mainstream setup popped off and slammed the table, and both of these were on 2 stocks. I was like, wow.
What the heck? People are popping off over 2 stocks now? What has the world come to?
Yeah. So I think my biggest issue with fucking Louis, I just get so angry, and this happened to me with Ice Climbers. Ice Climbers used to be my least favorite character, but then I grinded it and I got over it. And I feel like it could be that way with Luigi. I just don't know. He just makes me so fucking mad. The reason is, little lag on his shit. He has big hitboxes compared to Joker that result in scrap scenarios where Luigi is, better than me in scraps. I don't know how to deal with Zaire effectively. It's easier for him to kill me and get me than me. Well, it's easier for me to fuck up and die. Yeah, basically. Is why I fucking... So, I don't know how I should prevent that in the future, because obviously, I know this. I know that he makes me mad. I know I don't want to tilt. I know how to beat him, because I've beaten him before. So, yeah.
Okay. So, let's go ahead, and I'm going to pull up the VOD on my end.
Alright.
And we can go through the Luigi VOD, and let's try to understand more about Luigi, which
Okay.
could tell us more about ourselves. Let's see.
Yeah. The big question I would ask is how I can make this simpler for me, I guess, too. That would help.
So that is a topic I was going to touch on, simplicity.
Yes. Sweet.
This is a chaotic game with a lot of variables, a lot of different ways the same button can be pressed. Could lead, and it could all lead into different circumstances.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's a crazy game.
Timing is one of the craziest mix-ups you can make, and it's the easiest one to do. But it leads to like vastly different results. So I can definitely agree with that.
By the way, do you see my screen? Can you see my mouse?
Yeah, I'm watching.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so, because the game can be so complex, one goal of ours, we talked about broad goals earlier. A goal we could have for like just any individual given match, is how can we make things simpler? And if we just look at it from numbers, I'm a numbers guy as well.
Analytical, I
Let's
like
say,
it.
I like it. On Go, right? On Go, let's say Luigi could do like 1 out of 100 things. Obviously, there's more than 100 things that could actually be done, but let's just say 1 out of 100. And we're not even gonna consider what Jeep specifically does, because that's a different factor, right? There's things Luigi can do, and then there's things that Jeep will do. So to simplify the things that could be done by Luigi at the very start, maybe you could ask, and there are many ways to simplify, but like one thing that I've been doing recently is I could ask, where could Luigi go at the start? And I just try to think of it as like broad stage location, or I could think of it as where in relation to Luigi could Luigi move to, right? So before I say the places that I think of, you go ahead and tell me where you think Luigi could go at the start.
So the only place, so he can go anywhere around this platform. Ideally, he would probably start off with run off or drop through Fair or Zaire, because he definitely doesn't want to jump. And if he jumps, he's not going to be able to get past the Pokeball unless he full hops, which would be ridiculous. He's not going to do that. And if he does do that, that's easy pickings buffet for me, because he floats so slow. Airspeed's poo.
And where else could Luigi go?
He can go backwards.
Yeah, he could run off.
And he could stay on the platform.
Yeah, could stay on the platform. So, of these scenarios, of these places he could go, I think you listed 6. Which do we care about the most? Which of these are like most dangerous to us?
Him moving forward.
Okay. And why?
He's attempting to achieve his goal of, getting in to create a scramble scenario.
Okay. Of these 6 scenarios, we could say we don't really care about him doing a full hop. We don't really care about him staying on the platform. We don't really care, or maybe we do care about the platform one, but let's talk about that in a second. Let's say we don't care about him going back and going to the corner.
Yeah.
What we care about are the ones where he tries to get closer to us. So him going to Pokeball. Would it be dangerous if Luigi dropped through the platform?
Not from where I'm at.
Okay. And would it be dangerous? And right now you're at the other platform.
Yeah.
And where are you going?
I'm about to go to center stage probably, or I'm gonna just gun him on staying on the platform.
Okay. Between those two choices, gunning him on the platform or attacking the Pokeball, between those two positions Luigi could be at, which one's more dangerous for you? Him being at Pokeball or being at platform?
Pokeball.
So
why would I meet him there? I don't know.
well, I was gonna say then why would you try to
Yeah.
bullet the platform?
Wait, what?
If
Yeah.
if him being at Pokeball is more dangerous, why would we want to bullet the platform? Imagine you do that. Imagine Joker runs off and bullets the platform, but what if Luigi just ran off?
Oh yeah.
Or what if Luigi did like drop Fireball or something?
Yeah, if I bulleted the platform, I meant I would stay on the platform and do it. But yeah, no, yeah, that. Ideally, I probably should just hold my ground and wait out the go.
So, I feel like there's no. Let's play out this scenario, right? Right now, you're thinking that it's a bad decision to run off the platform to the Pokeball, but let's think about it. Let's play it out in our mind and see what could happen, right? So like, in the actual VOD, as it turns out, you are pressing dash before Jeep has even pressed anything. So you're already a faster player than him in this regard. But like, let's imagine Luigi dashed at the same time as you, right? And you're both headed to the Pokeball. If we perceive that Luigi going to the Pokeball is a bad thing for us, what can we do to stop it?
We couldn't, or we shouldn't run to air him, because ideally we would lose the air situation. I could set up pressure by going above him with a down gun, or I don't even have to down gun, just being above him is a threat to Luigi. So yeah, I would say being above him, if he wants to go to the Pokeball, the best way to counteract that is either be above him or to get on the ground and play neutral from there.
Okay.
Or the only other answer is, I run up to the edge of the platform. I don't even have to run up, but I run up to the edge of the platform, gun, and it stops his movement. But that doesn't really create a particularly good situation.
In that gun scenario you just mentioned, is that you run off the platform and then gun?
No, stay on.
Yeah, then that's basically just like repeating what happens at the very start of the match.
Yeah.
On go, you both start at the platform, and if you just bullet, then you both stay on the platform still. So it's like nothing happened.
Yeah,
really.
he took 1 damage or 3. If it stunned him, he took 3.
Okay. But in the scenario where you both run off, you said ideally, or I don't know if you meant to use this word, but you said ideally you lose the air-to-air.
Yeah, I meant realistically, my bad. Yeah.
Realistically. So, why? How?
Right. Luigi aerials are faster and bigger or at least his like forward-facing ones. Mine might actually be the same speed because both of mine are frame 7, besides my Nair, but none of those are really disjointed and would lose to. His fair is frame 7. Yeah, it's
So
mainly
his
to deal with
fair
fair.
is-
Yeah, it's frame 7. So it would both be the same, but I feel like my fair would lose. But maybe not.
Something worth testing in training mode. But the idea is, if we don't want Luigi to be in center, one thing we could do is to put out hitboxes in center that prevent him from being there.
Yeah.
And the quickest way you could do that as Joker is if you run off in fair.
Yeah.
To my knowledge, maybe there's something faster. Maybe you could like drop through AHA, and that also works. But if it is true that if you both run off and fair the very start of the match, if it's true that Joker wins this scenario, then I would say this makes it a good idea to try for. Because if you hit that, you're probably getting dragged down fair. Well, maybe not probably. Probably is a strong word.
Yeah, I mean it's either that or a dash attack combo after, or a regrab. It depends.
So, and both of those are really good for you, right?
Yeah, it's a starting advantage.
It's starting. So like, already we have identified something that accomplishes 2 goals in 1. We just asked ourselves, where could Luigi go? Where do we not want Luigi to be?
We stopped Luigi and we got our win condition.
Yeah. Fair dash attack puts him into the corner or off stage, and then if he's in the corner or off stage, he's just easier to kill. This was a 2-for-1 where we counter him by killing what he wants to do while giving us what we want to do. 2-for-1. 2 birds, 1 stone is what I call it.
Yeah.
And this is just on the basis of like, oh, we checked off 2 goals that we had at the start of the match. We didn't mention it explicitly before we started, but like, obviously as a Joker player, you want to hit someone off stage.
Yeah. That's the best way to kill Luigi.
Yeah. So, if you've ever thought about like reversals in Smash, reversals are basically this. They're basically just completing 2 or even 3 or 4 goals at once, right?
know, I never thought about it that vaguely. Like, yeah, that's literally what a reversal is.
Yeah. Someone's on ledge. Well, one goal that they may want is to get back on stage, and another goal that they may want is to
put you on ledge.
Kill the other guy.
Yeah, or that, yeah.
So let's say Luigi ledge rolls and then kills you with up smash. He just did both. He just got on stage and then got to play the game.
Yeah.
So a way to optimize the game is to we started off by like asking the where, the situation, and then we thought about what we could do to stop the worst things, and then you pointed out that this idea I had also gives you your best things. So together we completed a counterplay. We could call this rock, right? We could call this like a strong rock that kills Luigi for trying to be powerful, and then we get our power from it. Do you have any questions so far?
Nope.
Okay. How could Luigi kill our rock?
it wouldn't not. He can't really. Like ideally, I guess. No, I just don't see it. Like he could drop through fireball, he could drop through grab, but both of those wouldn't, beat it unless I like wildly commit. But I guess he could drop through Zaire and it'd beat out my fair. But I don't think that particular one would combo super hard since I'd be high up.
Okay.
Or maybe the fair does beat my fair first, but maybe not because Luigi's slower than Joker.
So these are all theories, and if we see these happen in the match, then cool. We figured out if your theories are correct or not. But for now, it's just good to be able to visualize what Luigi could do, what we could do to counterplay that, and then what his possible counterplay to that could be. And then we would just that's basically our rock paper scissors at the start of the match. By the way, at the start of the match, on go, you could be winning the game. A lot of people neglect that, so that's why I talk about it here.
Yeah, I mean, if I start with the gun, I got that 1% lead. Upper percent, you know the vibes.
But I'm sure you've won more matches by taking all 3 stocks than by timing someone out.
Yeah, I think I've only won once by timeout. And I was getting timed out by Steve.
And then they fucked it up at the end, pretty much.
No, I made like a wild tomahawk grab through a bunch of blocks into a combo tech chase, or they teched on the block, I got an air dodge and then percent, and then I like went under the stage and upbeat and gun to stall. It's kind of crazy. Oh my god. I was stressed.
Nice. It's good that you are thinking about win conditions. We could win by timeout, and I can see why you would think about this. It's because it's Luigi, and we generally lose if we are scrapping with Luigi, like you mentioned earlier, right? Like, there's just more ways for Luigi to kill us than for us to kill him when we're scrapping. So timeouts are like an alternative win condition. You don't have to be next to Luigi and you could still win. But I still want us to be able to play the game, right? I still want us to not be forced into playing for timeout.
Yeah.
Still want us to be able to win in as many ways as possible at the start of the match and at any point of the match. You feel me?
Yeah. I don't think I've ever tried to time anyone out besides Steve. But I mean, Luigi is Steve level annoying, so maybe I have to resort to that. But yeah, no, I agree.
Like a genuine contender.
Also,
for someone.
I feel like, timeouts are consistent, but I feel like it would be better for me long term if I could consistently just beat him without timing him out.
Yeah, and I think that probably what's just going to happen in the future. Like, instead of you winning by timeout, it's going to be you winning by 3 stocks. If I had to guess, right? Like going by the numbers, you've only ever won once when the timer hit 0.
Hello?
So, yeah, it's more likely that you're going to win the other way. So,
yeah,
because
they're out right now.
What you mentioned at the start, right? Luigi has better odds of winning at scrambles. Better odds being that, probably numbers-wise, he has more than a 50% chance. But also, if he does touch you, there's a better chance of him killing you than if you were to touch him for you to kill him.
Yeah.
Right? Luigi's just better numbering you in quote-unquote scraps. You could,
the numbers aren't in my favor.
Scraps?
Could I define scraps?
Yeah.
I would say So one of the most common ones is like Zaire hitting me. You know, he doesn't necessarily get a combo after, but it leads into a weird situation. Or Zaire hitting my shield. Him hitting my shield is a scrap. What is his dash attack? It's like -19, I think. You know, sometimes him dash attacking me could be a scrap because sometimes you can't tell if it's a cross up. Like him dash attacking my shield. Just like and I feel like he tries to create these scraps through Fireball and Zaire. So yeah, I would say, you know, jump ins or like shield pressure and like Zaire.
Okay. So I think another way for us to frame this is basically if we are close enough to Luigi could hit us with something we don't know what, right? Because all of these things that are good for him, like say dash attack to put us off stage, or down tilt, which could combo into grab, or at least make us shield and then we shield and then he grabs. Like all these things are good for him and we just can't know which one is going to happen. So we call it a scrap because close and anything could happen.
We have to make a read, basically.
Yes. So because, and this is one of those complex scenarios where numbers wise there's a lot that could happen. So let's try to simplify.
Yeah.
Using that same idea from earlier, where like we could just pinpoint where someone could be, and where they could go to. We could try to pinpoint where someone is going to attack next, right? So like, even though grab and dash attack and down tilt are all different moves, how could you? What's a commonality between them all?
They're all coming from the ground.
Okay, it's one. What's another?
He can initiate them from the same spot, but down tilt doesn't have the range grab does. So, I mean, I guess he can run up down tilt.
Yes, he could.
The commonality between those is that they all lose to me jumping.
And why is that?
Because he's hitting an area I'm no longer in. I already took a flight. I'm gone.
Yeah. He is aiming at you with all of these moves. That's the commonality. Or at least that's generally what Luigi players do, right? They see that you're near them, so out comes grab, out comes down tilts, fairs, zares, pivot grabs, and dash attacks. And these are all things that are being aimed at you, pretty much, except maybe the pivot grab. So, because they are all being aimed at you, a full hop means you are no longer there. And now he's attacking Ghost. So, what else could you do that takes you away from where you were at?
I could roll away, like behind me.
Okay.
I could roll in, but you know that could be pretty risky too. I like rolling in when he's jumping in on me, or like if I can react to him dash attacking, like once he's already doing it. But
well, let's think about what if you preemptively roll through, right? So like, let's say you roll in and Luigi dash attacks at the same time.
It just resets the scenario with I have a slight frame advantage.
you would have, I would say, a significant frame advantage because your roll, your forward roll, should be like 30 frames or so of lag, and his dash attack is 47 frames of lag.
Yeah.
So you would actually be frame positive by like 17 frames, which is enough time for you to put out your own dash attack.
Yeah.
You could probably also do this if he does a grab. See how laggy his grab is. They will probably like dash grab at you, right? If he does a dash grab, 51 total frame.
Yeah, so like
If he
the
does a
same
standing
same
grab.
amount. Yeah.
Yeah. So because he's just aiming, well, we don't know for sure yet because we haven't. Well, I've already watched a little bit of the VOD, so I can see ahead of time. I can know what Jeep does later. But like for now, like if the assumption is Luigi players will just aim at you, could just roll in, and that'll beat their dash attack. That'll beat their short hop aerial. That'll beat their Zair at you. That'll beat their dash grab at you. What would this lose to? What would our roll in lose to?
Him not doing anything or him down tilting because, well, you know, if he only does one down tilt. But then he wouldn't hit us anyway with the down tilt, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, him waiting. And then I'd be ultra fucked. But, you know, that doesn't happen too often. Also, they all lose to gun. The gun would stun all three of those options, too. I forgot to mention that. Ideally, it would be at a medium percent at least, though. So I'm not in too much lag. Or too negative.
Okay, good that you pointed that out. I mentioned the roll to start, just to get the ball rolling on like solutions that we may at first be like hesitant to consider. Earlier, when we talked about Luigi going to the Pokeball, on Go. By the way, we're still on Go.
Yeah.
Usually my sessions like take a while to get rolling, get like fast. But like once we've gone through like a lot of important concepts at the start, then shit gets quick.
Yeah.
Then we could like speedrun it now that we know things. But anyways, like one thing that you said we probably may not want to do, we may not want to go to the Pokeball because if Luigi goes to the Pokeball, then
We're at his win condition.
yeah. But you can still win if
Yeah.
you know more about the scenario, right?
Yeah.
If we, so like, on Go, not only did you actually dash first, right? Like he's not even pressing anything yet, and you're already dashing. Not only are you faster than Jeep, but Joker is also probably faster than Luigi,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So like, between these two characters, we should probably test this in training mode later, but like, I imagine Joker gets off the platform first.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe they both get off at the same time. And then even in the worst case scenario, which is that like they get off at the same time, then
Fair starts
I would
higher
say
up.
Joker still. What was that?
I was saying that Luigi Fair starts higher up, so it probably wouldn't even hit me anyway. But now I'm starting to doubt if we would even hit each other. Like it would probably just be he would either hit the end lag of my Fair or the second hit of my Fair would hit him.
That is good that you envisioned that. That you considered that. So test it out in training mode. It's still. By the way, do you have the training mode mod?
Yeah.
Wonderful. So that'll make it easy.
Yeah.
It is possible that if you start your Fair ASAP, like as soon as you leave the platform, then Fair 1 won't even reach Luigi. It'll be literally
Yeah.
impossible. So you could just like make sure you run off first, but delay the Fair,
Yeah.
or maybe you're just fine with Fair 2 hitting him. Which, I mean, I
That's
don't know,
still
that sounds fine to me.
Yeah, that sounds fine. Still combos.
Yeah. It still combos, and even if it doesn't combo,
Yeah.
like, let's just say this is a fair 2 that hits like really high up. It doesn't combo, but at the very least, it got him out of the Pokeball.
Yeah,
which
and
is
he's
what we
still in
wanted.
the air.
Yeah, that too. And then we could untrue combo into dash attack.
Mm-hmm.
So taking this idea of like what was at first scary to us, well, if we just think it through and we rationalize, we theory
It's not
craft
that
what could
bad.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that bad, right? Rolling into Luigi sounds really scary on paper, and it sounds like ludicrous.
Yeah, like I could
Right,
die
like-
at 60 to him upping, but why would Luigi, Yeah. He might not be waiting for, like I think he is.
There's a set of Spargo versus Siski. I think it was Siski. It was some Samus where Spargo actually like rolls in a lot in this set, and it's like it's crazy. You wouldn't think, like, it doesn't compute. It's like why is Spargo rolling into Samus all the time? But the Spargo's theory was basically just, well, if he aims at me with Zair, or if he aims at me with Grab, or if he aims at me with Charge Shot, or if he aims at me with Missile,
they all
just
to this.
lose.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this was a very close set, but Spargo did win. And I saw him do all these rolls, and I just asked myself why. And then I thought about it, and I reasoned through it, and then I came to my conclusion, and now I'm just reteaching it to you, pretty much. So you can watch this set as well on your own time. I think it's very interesting. And also, I have another set pulled up here of the Buzz versus Riddles. I wanted to show off a little bit of like what the Buzz would do versus a Luigi-esque character, right?
Yeah.
So we've got like 2 different ways of thinking here. We've got the Buzz style,
and Spargo.
In his own words, he tried to minimize losing as much as possible. I think that's what he said about this. It was basically like never lose advantage state. So he would like never gamble on like a ledge trap scenario. He would, instead of gambling on a ledge trap, he would always just like stand at ledge roll and just absolutely guarantee that that Riddles could not reversal him.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Spargo is inviting reversal. He is inviting Siski to, like, because imagine, so Samus is in the corner, and we roll through him, and now we're behind him.
Yeah.
We're in the corner, right? we are inviting reversals, but it's fine, because the idea is this dude wasn't gonna reversal by like dashing to center or something. He was gonna reversal by trying to hit us where we're at with one of his long ass projectiles.
I love doing that with Joker too. I'll just roll into the corner, and then now I'm behind them, and like they were already swinging or they're shielding now. I do it like at 0. I'll hit someone with a nair, and then I'll roll behind them, and then if they shield, I just get a shield grab, or if they like swing, I'm just behind them. And Joker has one of the best forward rolls. Yeah, or combo, whatever.
Oh, I didn't know that, actually.
No, his forward roll is insane. It's not gonna, like, it doesn't show you the distance, but if you were to look it up, he goes like a really far distance, and he like kind of stays low to the ground. So I don't know if it's better than Steve's, but like it's on par. It's pretty fucking good. He has a good back roll too.
So that's good. You already understand this concept. You already understand the strength of it. But now we're just applying it to more than just like crossing up someone in the corner. We're doing it like in neutral, in scrambles versus a Luigi, right? For a reason, right? For a reason that we reasoned out. So let's let's simplify the game a little bit more, right? Like, in this scenario, roll in works wonders versus someone who just aims at you all the time.
Yeah.
But let's say, where else could someone aim at?
Where they could aim at where I'm going. Now, where I'm going could be vague, but let's assume, that they're aiming at me, and I love jumping a lot. So they're going to aim at, the air. They're going to aim at where I'm going to jump. I feel like that's what Luigi walling usually is, too. It's usually short hop, fair, air, into... Are they close enough? No. I'm going to short hop, fair, air again, but now I'm a little closer. Now dash attack is a threat. Maybe dash grab, or maybe I can, feint a jump in, etc. So yeah, they could aim where I'm going.
And if we kind of already talked about this, but like where you're going is pretty much the same as where Luigi could go at the start, right? You listed out like he could full hop, he could go left, he could go right.
Yeah.
And since he's on a platform, he could drop, right? So like basically, if Luigi isn't aiming at us in the neutral example where we're like close enough to him to like get dash grab, if he's not aiming at us, then he's probably aiming at our jumps, or he could be aiming in front of us, or he could be aiming behind us. We've simplified the game again. There's like 4 places where Luigi could aim at: in front, at, behind, or above. And then if there's a platform involved, I guess you could aim below someone. And if Luigi is aiming behind us, then rolling past him still works, right? Like,
yeah.
And by the way, him aiming behind us would be the equivalent of like him doing an overshoot dash grab.
Yeah.
Right? And then let's think of if he aims above us, right? So if he aims above us with, say, like short hop fair forward, short hop bear forward, us rolling in still beats that as well.
Yeah.
And then that leaves him aiming in front of us.
Wow, so the only thing that beats rolling is him waiting. But which, obviously sometimes you play to react and wait, but I can make him not want to wait. Yeah, that's sick. Damn.
Yeah. And how do you make him not want to wait?
Throwing in guns, throwing in short hops, walking, shielding, like giving him random stimuli. Not random, but, just giving him things makes him want to be strong. He's like, I don't like where I'm at now. I want to be strong.
Mm-hmm. And then every time when he thinks he's strong, if you understand when that's about to happen, and you just roll in, then you reversal him. And then if he did a short hop fair as you rolled in, you could probably dash attack him before he lands, maybe. Just a theory. We'd have to test that. Probably depends a lot on the timings, right? And if he does overshoot dash grab, then I'm thinking if you can't reach him with dash attack in time, then you could at least reach him with like a hop safely, or at the very least you have center and he's in the corner. That's still good for you too. So yeah. So this is how we could win these scraps. This is a goal of yours. We want to. So this is. Well, I don't recall if you explicitly said this was a goal of yours. This was just something that you said was something that frustrated you versus Luigi.
Yeah. So you could say it's a goal.
Yeah. So because it is something that frustrates us, we want to get better at it. So it's a goal. So we understand the like essence of these scraps a little better now, just because we asked where.
Yeah.
Where could he aim at? Where could I go? Where could he go? It's like that. Continuing. Okay, let's actually play the VOD now. So off rip, look at this.
Yeah, what was the start? What did I do? I missed it.
Oh yeah. So you ran off,
I claimed
and
the
then you went to
ball.
Pokeball, and then you just dash backed and bulleted.
Okay.
And then after these bullets, look what he does. Well, actually, let's guess. So this is kind of what I meant earlier when I said you can ask yourself questions. Um, you can ask your question to yourself before you look at something, right?
Yeah.
It's nice to be able to come up with a theory because that's essentially your base understanding of something, and then when you see what happens, you can see what is different about your base understanding compared to what actually happened. And now that you know what specifically was different about your base understanding, then you can fix that, right? It's about specifics. Um, it's not good to generalize things. Like when someone says, "Oh, play aggro, play defense," those are like
Yeah.
so broad that it's unhelpful.
Yeah, you
So
gotta
we need
get
to
it
be
really
more.
specific so that way you can make it broad yourself, like in your mind. Like you can
Yes,
explain it to a toddler. You have to get really
yes.
specific first.
When someone like Mars says, "Just run up and up smash," um, to a layman, that's just like, oh well, that sounds like super simple, super like dumbed down. But
Hey, I
it's
do
something that yeah, it
it.
it is it is super simple and dumbed down. But like the point of it was he got the specifics of the scenario first. He got it so much so he understood everything so much so that then he could just simplify it to just up smash lol, right?
hmm
How are we going to be able to simplify the game if we don't understand the specifics of it first?
Yeah.
That's what we said we wanted at the start. We wanted simplification.
Yes.
So, mhm. So continuing, let's look at a scenario. Okay, right here. Look, we're bulleting, and Luigi wants to aim at us. He's doing short hop fair to Zaire.
Yeah.
Could we have rolled through him here?
Yeah.
And then what?
And then we could have got a dash grab, not a dash grab. We could have got a grab, or yeah, we could have got it. I could have just grabbed. Would have been a juicy grab.
Yeah, I think grab is possible here, even though it is Zaire. It's not that laggy, but like we could count the frames here. Um, if you look here, um, you do bullet here, and then after that bullet,
Yeah, like I thought about running under him when he does that, but rolling in is just better. It makes more
you
sense.
could you I think you could dash under him here. Um, you low profile with your dash, and
Then he
I
could back
think I
air.
think you're cutting it close, but I think you do have. It's possible to get the run under here, and then you get run under pivot grab,
Yeah,
and then you get a down throw combo.
but rolling in is probably just a safer, simpler option too.
Yeah, there's a trade off. Roll is gonna be slower,
Yeah,
but it
but it's gonna
is
have iframes.
yeah.
Yeah,
So it's nice whenever you find a solution. It's nice to find
multiple.
yeah, multiple means you could potentially find a better solution given like more context, right? So like there's gonna be places where dash would be better than roll, and then there's places where roll is better than dash. By finding more solutions, you have found better solutions for different places. So dash or roll here could work, and that like at the very start of the match, we're already seeing something that we've added, something that we've talked about that we could add to our game. We could just roll in because so and so, right? So
Yeah,
now we've spent an hour talking, and we had like a big preamble and we talked what we wanted, but essentially, we boiled down like the last 20 minutes, um, talking about like a lot of concepts, and we boil it down to just roll in lol. And here we see it at the very start of the match. You could just roll in lol, and it would have worked.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I knew he was going to Zare after, but I didn't know how I could punish it, so I just decided to disengage. Which is also
One
an
of the
option.
answers, one of the answers you told me at the start for how to like avoid Luigi things is you could full hop, and that's what you do here. But the thing is, and I can see how it could be good for Joker to be above Luigi because you can down gun, and that could sometimes lead into combos. But it's nice to have more solutions,
Yeah.
right? So you could full hop, but also you could roll in. If you never roll in, you will never get a grab, right?
Yeah.
You'll never ever be able to grab him for zaring you if you don't roll in. And even though this is Luigi, who's iconic for killing people, just like at zero or whenever he touches them, we still want to be able to win the game ourselves, right? We still want to be able to hit the things we want to hit.
Yeah.
If we just spend the whole game avoiding Luigi, it's going to be tragic. Because
it's going to be strenuous, it's going to be stressful, it's going to be draining, and then we're going to lose like some Shakespeare shit. Want some Shakespeare shit.
there was a tourney that happened like a month ago, or less than a month ago. It was a big one. It was during the like Golden Week.
Was
You
it
know about
Delta or
Golden Week?
Kagaribi? Or was it
I think it was
before that?
Kagaribi.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Kagaribi. It was Kameme versus Raru, and I think Raru is the
Luigi. Yeah.
over. Yeah. And I watched that shit live. It was fucking tragic because Kameme, in his mind, he's like, oh well, Mega Man does well versus Luigi because Mega Man can just like press the A button and never get grabbed.
I thought his Mega Man was
Which is-
retired. Damn.
He brings it out for certain matchups every now and again.
Dope. Yeah.
And what happened was he pressed A the whole match, but he still lost because even if he doesn't get grabbed, he could still get hit by other things, or he could just get hit by roll in grab, lol. And because he was only playing to not lose, like to not get grabbed.
Yeah.
Do you know how long Luigi lived for?
186.
More.
Oh my god. Damn. 237.
227.
Jesus, bro.
And you know how Luigi died at 227?
To an up tilt?
Nope.
To an SD.
Yes.
Yeah. It's either like a smash attack or an SD. That's the only way you're killing somebody at 200%.
It was so it like, I don't want to sound doomer, but it like made me give up hope on Kameme's Mega Man. It was so horrific. He played the matchup to not get grabbed, but he never played it to actually win the game.
See, yeah,
So-
I think that was my issue with this set, is I was like, oh, I'm super hard focused on not getting grabbed. I'm not gonna give him kills, and then I still got killed at zero because, well, it was my fault that I got killed at zero, but like I still gave them to him, so it was like, you could try, and it's not gonna matter.
Mm-hmm.
The only time I got zero to death wasn't off of a grab, it was off of a landing fair. Or it was
Yeah.
a rising fair in there, something like that.
Luigi still has other ways to kill you, right?
Yeah.
Just like what we said earlier, it's nice to have one solution. It's nice to, like when everyone thinks of Luigi, or like when Luigi players think of their win con, they think grab, but better Luigis have more than just one solution. Better Luigis have more than just one way to kill you. The reason
Yeah.
why Riddles is so good is he's like the only Kazuya that can fucking edgeguard people. He's the only one who is able to like go out there and hit a fair. It's like insane. Everyone else is just a one-trick pony. And he has the success that he has. He has won majors because he has more than just one solution. He can do more than just electric you. So yeah, we want that too. We want more than just full hop. Because one, full hop, like sure it can lead to down gun, but not even like the most
Yeah, like I could jump over and get a landing there or dare or something and get a combo off of that, but yeah,
Yes, and I understand how that would be like a bit iffy, right? It's like, ooh, but then I'm like landing on Luigi, and like if he shields it, then like, ooh, like I could die, and like yes, that could happen. But if you don't try to win, how are you gonna win? Right?
exactly.
We need you to do stuff.
I'm playing against
We
a
need
real
you to
human
blow in.
being. It's like the character has to be so low, or you have to be so good at exploiting their weakness for you to actually successfully time them out. Because you're playing against a real human too. Like, the only other way timeouts happen is if like it's either you're both playing characters where y'all can't kill each other. That's a common timeout scenario. Obviously, Sonic or Snake, you're repeating scenarios until you find a good one. And that happens with Luigi. You know, he'll do Fair's airs and Fireball's airs, and I'll jump from platform to platform maybe, but I feel like none of that is sustainable. But maybe it is because Luigi has bad horizontal drift, and you can open him up and make him commit to give you free stage openings.
So, while it may be theoretically possible for you to like platform camp in such a way to where you never get hit by Luigi,
It's not
is it
feasibly
something?
possible.
Is it something that you or other people have practiced?
No. Yeah, that's a good point too.
Yet here we are trying it, right? Like this is the only time that people will try this idea.
It's only on Luigi.
Like, bro, you haven't practiced this idea. Why are you trying it? And like, why are we now doing this idea? Like, of all times, we're gonna do it only now, only when we've never tried it before.
Because the idea on practice loses.
It's because we're so damn scared of Luigi, and he gets to play his game. And we're scared of his game so damn much that it makes us play a game we've never even tried to play before.
Yeah.
We still want to play our game. That is huge. It is huge. It's just if we're gonna play our game, we need to know how it crosses with Luigi's game. What can we do to get our game that can still like contend with Luigi? And here it is. It's roll in. That's just one idea, of course.
Yeah.
And there will be more as we study more. So, moving on. Any questions so far?
No, I think you're doing a great job.
Awesome.
You're asking me the questions.
We are at 1 hour. I forget if I said this already, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna spend more time than an hour just because I like talking Smash, and we haven't even gotten through the first game yet. So we're gonna keep it going.
Sweet,
and no
appreciate
extra cost.
that. Sweet.
Yeah, for sure.
Me too. I love Smash. That's why I got to get it back.
We're seeing whenever we look at these scenarios now. I'm just thinking to myself, does Yeha roll in here? Would it have worked if he rolled in here? Right. So like we could look at this. More short hop fairs. If we rolled in, I don't think we would have been hit by those. And then we could have caught him with like down tilt or something, dash attack, whatever. Here, instead, what we're doing is we're doing these fade back bears, which could work. They could work. These were just barely not hitting.
I felt like that was a weird in between where, like, he obviously did like a rising aerial, and I was like, oh, I want to punish it, but I want to punish it safely. And so I just went with like the middle, and then I was like, oh shit. I'm right by Luigi. I don't know. So that's why I did a second one right after.
Let's think of a more concrete way. Because like if you're gonna get the punish on something, it doesn't matter how safe your punish is.
Yeah.
Because well, if you hit it, you will be ultimately safe.
Yeah, maybe I did that because of Zare. Actually, I don't know. But yeah, no, you're right. But yeah, no, a turnaround up tilt there would have been nasty.
If you had done,
like, there was a roll-in.
I envision a world where you could. So like, look, he actually already whiffed. You didn't have to dash back,
Yeah.
You could have stood in place and like up tilted.
Yeah.
Can you envision that?
Yeah. Oh, I could have just rising back aired from the same spot.
Yeah. And one thing that I really want to note here is how many times. So like we've talked about how Luigi gets to play the game, but now we can talk. So like we've talked about what that game is. It's grab, it's dash attacks, it's down tilts. We've talked about where those attacks happen. Usually, so far we've just seen them happen at you, right? But here's a when that we could talk about. How often, or when, or how many times is Luigi getting to play his game compared to you?
Yeah.
We could see it in this example. He gets to throw out one aerial and a second aerial in the time it takes you to put out one aerial. Numbers wise, Luigi is twice as fast.
Yeah.
That's a little fucked up.
Yeah.
How could we possibly compete with that? Well, let's rewind it to here, right? If we didn't dash back and spend time dashing back, jumping, and then falling with bear, we could have just done our turn earlier, right here, with up tilt.
Yeah.
And then he basically put out his turn, missed, and then we put out our turn, it hits, and then we get a combo. And if we just like try to evade him like so, then we are just giving him more time to put out more moves. And like Smash, like every move you put out, there's just a chance that it hits. Smash is like gambling. I forget if I said this explicitly earlier, but I perceive Smash to be a game of gambling. And
That makes sense. You know, it's all about risk reward. So that in itself
risk reward
is technically gambling.
is pretty much a way for us to cheat the system of gambling, right?
Yeah.
So like we could be playing poker all day, and the odds of winning or losing will be roughly the same each time on any given hand. Like before you see the cards, any hand could be as good as any other hand, but like we could offset any imbalances, or we could create an imbalance in our favor if we see that we have like a pot that like have you ever done side bets in Smash?
Yeah. I don't do them
So there's a
often, so
2-to-1.
I'm like 9-1 right now.
Okay. Have you ever heard of like a 2-to-1 odds bet?
Yeah.
Or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah, I know how sports betting works.
Okay. I don't know too much about it, but I believe it just works such that you get less risk and more reward in like a 2-to-1, right?
Yeah, so a 2-1 is let's say you're betting on Jeep, I'm betting on me, right? I get 2-1 odds since I'm not favored to win this. So we both bet, or sorry, if we were originally betting $5, you have to pay me 10 if I win, but I would pay you 5 if Jeep wins, because he's favored, 1 to 2 odds.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. So this is risk reward, right? This is you taking this bet. You wouldn't have taken it if it were 1-to-1, right?
Yeah.
You only take it if it's 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 or something.
So there's higher reward.
So that's a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is how we offset this imbalance. It is more likely for Jeep to win than Yeehaw, so it's imbalanced. Let's offset that imbalance by getting a risk reward that's in our favor. And there are more ways to offset imbalances or to create your own imbalance, right? So like that poker example earlier, any hand is as good as any other hand, and then you flip over the cards, and then you see what they are, and then you're like, oh, I have pocket rocket, I have double aces, right? Then it's like, oh, well, I actually have higher odds of success here to win the hand. I'm gonna put money in and play poker, right? So that's like if Luigi understands that, oh, every one of my moves is double aces, I'm gonna continue to mash, right? I'm gonna continue to bet, and that's essentially what Jeep is doing. It looks like, right? Like if he lands this
I'm
fair,
gonna
he may not
swing.
know exactly what's gonna happen earlier, but like it's there's a chance that he could kill you because then he could do like fair into landing there,
Or he's
which
getting
is
an
what he
easy
actually
40.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy 40. May not be double aces, but it might be like a pair of tens or something something strong. He knows that he's starting off with something strong, so he's just gonna go ahead and bet over and over again. In fact, because it's just even if the odds of one thing hitting isn't that high, if he does hit, then he gets the win. What are some other ways we could cheat the system of gambling?
We could go into. Oh, since we're both at 0, the risk reward heavily favors him because he could kill me at 0, but I'm not going to kill him at 0, especially since I don't have Arsene. So I would say the ways we could cheat the system is what I discussed earlier, making him want to be strong. So, like, going in an area where I could jump in, like, so to make him do that. I don't actually. I could down tilt his landing. That's a 1 to 10 odds every time, but it works for me every time.
So, when you say it works for you every time, that's when you're basically saying you're doing it like on reaction.
Right? Yeah, like I don't think any of his landing aerials. Well, maybe his Nair would, but it probably. I don't know if his landing aerials would beat my down tilt. It might.
Something worth testing.
Yeah.
There's probably timings where it does and timings where it doesn't.
Yeah.
Spoiler. But let's keep thinking about this in poker analogies, right? So like we could bet 2 to 1 odds. We could bet purely based on our information that we have, right? We could bet based on information of our hand alone, right? Oh, I have double tens. That has high odds of winning. We could bet based on information of the deck. Like, if you've played... You know what counting cards is?
No, I've never played any gambling card games or anything like that.
Well, in casinos, there's a game called Blackjack, and it's the one where the guy that gets like 21 wins. Are you familiar with that one?
Oh, yeah, and if you go over, you lose.
Yeah. There's a technique to win more at Blackjack, and it's by counting what cards have appeared already.
Yeah,
so that you know what's left in the deck. If you know that in the deck is a 10 and a jack, or sorry, a 10 and an ace, which create 21, then you know to play, because then you'll hit 21, and then you'll win the match. So you can bet based on risk reward. You can bet based on what you know you have, aka if you have minecart, you will use it because it is strong,
yeah.
right? You could bet based on what's in the deck, which, let's see, how could I work this out in Smash terms? If it's like if you know what will show up in the future from the Luigi. Like, I know the Luigi is gonna do fair into Nair right now, so I'm just gonna like up smash in place. Wait, what did you say?
Oh yeah. No, that after the fair, a Zero Nair are coming. Like he's swinging. He's going to swing basically.
Yeah.
So
I know what's left in the deck. The next thing that's going to happen is this.
I can bet on, my positioning. I can bet on trying to beat out what he's going to do. I can bet on what he's going to do next.
And then there's one more thing that I could think of right now that's also cheating the system, which is looking at your opponent's cards. Like, let's say they have flipped over their hand and showed it to you. Then you could do the proper response, which is essentially just like, if you can create a situation where you can react to something, then that's also cheating the system, right? So like, on paper, right? If you and on paper, if you are fighting a Sonic and you are Kazuya and you want to electric the spin dash, let's say on paper, if you are just mashing electric and the Sonic is mashing or letting go of a spin dash at random times, let's say there's just a 1 out of 10 chance that you hit your electric on his spin dash. But if the Sonic has showed you that he only ever releases spin dash after you move, let's say dash, right? Let's say you dash forward and that counts as a move, right? Then what you could do is, he has showed me his hand. This is all that he ever does. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to counterplay that by his hand. And his hand is, he reacts to me moving forward and then releases. So I'm just going to dash forward and then electric, and then he's going to run into the electric, pretty much, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's baiting / reactions, pretty much, where you could react to something that happens from the opponent, or you could bait out a reaction that they do.
And ideally, I'm playing Joker's side, want to put myself in a situation where I could react and they can't.
Could you think of what that would look like?
So if I'm jumping at, or if I dash at, or the easiest example is someone shielding. If I jump near someone shielding, they can assume I'm gonna tomahawk grab, or like if I dash at them, like I could dash grab. But that still doesn't. I guess that means I'm forcing them to make a decision, and if I don't plan to do anything, then I could just react to what they do. But that's probably still not an ideal scenario because that has a lot of variance. Like, they could roll and get behind me and I might not be able to cover the roll. They could jump. There's just a lot of places they can go. So I guess the easiest one that's repeatable and good is, I'm dashing at them or jumping near them, but not dashing into them. Then they're like, oh shit, like, I either have to move away or swing at him, and I'm not, and then I move back in a position to where their preemptive swing wouldn't hit me. So I could react to what they do, and they can't react to what I'm doing. It's how I think it would play out.
Okay, I see. So you're just putting yourself in a position where something could happen to them, like right now. Like if you're falling on them, they could get hit by like falling fair into up smash, and then they die. Yeah. Or if you're dashing left and right, like when's my dash attack gonna happen, right? And these are scenarios where they have to be wary of this strong thing that you have, but the entire time all you're doing is you're just looking at them. So you get to react to what they do, and they have to they have to press a button and hope that it hits you, or hope that it stops whatever you're about to do.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that idea. I toyed around with so I looked at Light recently, and I noticed that all of his full hops, so like when Light full hops, I tried to see if he's reacting every time he full hops, and it actually looks like he is, at least in the riddles set that I watched from him.
So like he only full hops after he reacts to a certain, input that he's looking for, or
It's more like he will full hop, and during the full hop, he is reacting to what you do, and then deciding if he wants to. Like during that full hop, like him rising, in fact, him jump squatting and then him rising, the entire time that's happening, he's looking at you, and then based on what you do, then he will either fall on you with nair or dare or tomahawk, or he'll double jump.
Yeah.
Watch this set.
Yeah, no, full hop is a really good one too. That's a landing one. You're landing on them, so.
And this is against a Luigi character as well. So like maybe it's because it's a Luigi character that he was more careful to use reaction and cheat the system instead of gamble and then potentially die because you gambled, right? But anywho, let's continue looking at the set. So basically, what we just mentioned is promoting the idea of like you using full hop as a reaction point, so that you can look at Luigi and see if your full hop is gonna lead into you fairing, or if your full hop is gonna lead into you tomahawking, or if your full hop is gonna be a double jump gun down or something.
Yeah.
Right?
Joker double jump's so broken.
Yes. You have a broken fast fall.
And I think the missing the missing piece to it is gun. Like it literally stalls you in the air for so long. You could transition to a down gun. You could fast fall with an aerial. You can float down like.
Yeah. And a cool thing about so I think you mentioned it already, but like you can use that time of you floating to just look at the other guy and then make your decision, right?
Yeah.
But I want you to be able to get more points in the game for you to look at the other guy. And when I mentioned Light just now, I mentioned that he's taking the time from his jump squat to him rising. That's the reaction point for him, right?
Yeah.
And let's try to think of why. Why is he using that as the reaction point?
Because that's going to be the first stimuli that the opponent reacts to. Obviously, it's not going to be instant, but what they do from that situation, like, they have to react to your jump with something.
So, I disagree with that theory because it's Fox full hop that we're talking about, which is like, first of all, really hard to react to, and second of all, you're basically saying that Fox jumps and then opponent reacts, and then Fox reacts to their reaction, which is going to be like 40 frames of time, right? Let's say Riddles reacts in 20 frames, and let's say Light reacts in 20 frames, right? So like Light jumps full hop, right? Full hop. And then 20 frames later, Riddles reacts, and then 20 frames later, Light reacts to Riddles react. I think by the time 40 frames is up, Light has already landed. Yeah. So I don't think that theory checks out. So my theory, not that I'm right, but it's just my theory, is that he's just using jump squat and the rising part of his full hop as the reaction point, because there's nothing else for him to do.
Yeah. That makes sense.
If you're in jump squat, you've committed to the jump. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
If you're rising from the jump, there's no action for you to take other than an aerial or a double jump. but he wasn't going to do that because he wants a falling aerial. Right? He doesn't want a rising there. He wants a falling there. So he wasn't going to do. Maybe he'll do rising there sometimes, but it's something that he's usually going to be pressing a button in the second half of the full hop. So he just takes the first half of the full hop as a reaction point where he's not going to press anything. He's just going to look at the other guy.
Yeah.
And then the second half of his jump will be what he saw from the other guy. Will be his response to what he saw the other guy. So yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah. No, that makes I feel like I feel like I have to do that intuitive, but probably not, honestly. Yeah, that's interesting. I'll have to try that. I feel like I'm reacting, but
watch this game of their set, and then it'll
make sense.
Become clear. Most of the time when Light jumps and he sees, if he saw that Riddles moved forward, during the time that Light did his jump squat, then he ends his jump with an aerial. Because he saw Riddles move forward, that means aerial. But if he sees Riddles shielding at the start of his full hop, then he does a double jump away or something. And it's very consistent. So that's why I think that's what's happening. That's why I think it's reaction. So that's something that we can do. We are Joker. We have a similarly strong full hop with similarly strong rewards. It is always in our interest to get a nair dash attack to kill someone at 0, right? Nair dash attack at 0, put them off stage, edge guard them, boom. That's the stock. It's the ideal scenario for Joker.
Yeah.
Or one of the ideal scenarios. So yeah, we can get higher odds of success on this happening or not, or of this happening in our favor, if we're using reaction to cheat the system, to cheat the gambling system. So yeah. Continuing on. Okay. This is big. We're using platforms to just avoid Luigi, but notice how when we're on the platform, it's not like we can win the game from here, right?
Yeah, Luigi has to jump up. Luigi has to jump up for me to even hit him.
Yeah. We run off the platform there, fine. And then we see Luigi in the air. And then what do? You just jump up and aim at him, right? And then you miss. So
yeah, it was weird. It was I was covering space, but then I drifted back into him. If I was doing that, I would be fading. I'd be fading out, not into him. So I don't know why I was doing that, honestly. Because that type of back air was if he full drifts in, it will hit him. But then my drift wasn't the same intention of that. It was if I wanted to do an all-in back air, I should have just went in and hit him.
This was probably a combination of you defaulting to we must run away from Luigi, but also you saw that Luigi was in the air and you wanted to hit him. So it was a cross-brain moment where you wanted two things that didn't really align with each other. Yeah, which was just this shitty thing that doesn't hit anything. And then kind of coerces you into doing another landing aerial. And look, this proves my theory. Well, it doesn't prove my theory. It's more evidence to my theory of you, because I already did a little pre-watching, like I said earlier.
Yeah.
And you will aim at people as well. We saw the Luigi aim at people a lot. You do it too. You saw him in the air, and you had this cross-brain moment where you wanted to aim at him, but you wanted to run away at the same time, which means nothing happens. Or rather, it means you whiff.
And then I try to salvage the situation.
Luigi is here.
Yeah.
You try to fair him, but he is no longer there.
That's a wild fair to go for. I feel like that's just wild. I don't even know.
And you notice what Luigi did here?
Backdash grab. He moved out the way.
He did. He got the thing that we wanted. He got the dash under pivot grab. That's what we said we were gonna do to counterplay Luigi's jumps earlier. And here is evidence that shows that the idea works. We can start doing this. If Luigi can do it, so can us.
Yeah.
I don't even care that he has a pivot grab. Like, look, he's right next to you. So our normal grab.
Our pivot,
grab. Why does this work? It just works because people aim at us. Here, we aimed directly at Luigi, so all he did was run under.
And not once, but twice.
Yep.
So, I have like a list of things I think I'm weak at, and that was like one of them is that like sometimes I just get pea-brained and I'll swing the opponent's at point A, I swing at point A a little too late. The opponent is at point B now, and instead of swinging at point C where they're gonna end up, I swing at point B.
Exactly. I call this Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
So, you ever watch Tom and Jerry growing up?
Oh, fuck yes.
Tom will chase Jerry, and what Jerry does to counterplay Tom is Jerry realizes, Tom is just running straight for me, right? I'm gonna run through this door frame, which means Tom is gonna be at the door frame in a moment, right? So all Jerry does is he runs through the door frame, and then he attacks behind him. He attacks at the door frame, in fact.
Yeah.
Because that's where he was a moment ago. Jerry is like, okay, now that I've run through the doorway, I'm gonna attack the doorway. And Tom will coincidentally be there. Because I know that Tom aims at me, right? And that's what happened. You got Jerried. He ran through the doorway and then attacked the doorway. And wouldn't you know it, Tom was at the doorway.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
He hit that doorway with a frying pan and then killed you. Just kidding, he fucked up his combo. But you get the idea.
I feel like that's why I missed the tech, because I just wasn't even ready for that to happen. Him fucking up the combo is me taking 80, by the way.
Yeah. So
another thing I noticed initially too is that my ledge, normally I mix up my ledge timings a lot, but since Luigi's weak at covering jump, I'm not mixing up my timings enough, and I kind of just pick them a little too fast sometimes. But yes, the reason I picked jump is because he's decent at covering all the other ones, and jump he has to hard read me to cover jump.
correct. He has to read it because he can't react to it because it is so fast. You're basically in a system where there's no gambling, right? Imagine if every ledge option was reactable. You are putting in something unreactable, and you are cheating the system.
At what point do I need to mix it up with a different ledge option? Because most of I got away with jumping most of the time and using mix-ups throughout jump. Obviously, I can double jump, I can fade back and then double jump, I can stall, I can go back to ledge, I can... there's a fuck ton of mix-ups within jump itself. But you know what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
At what point should I stop using it? Well, not stop using it, but mix it.
It's because it is a strong option. It's nice to have it, no matter what. So we don't want to stop using it. We want to supplement it with
Yeah.
other strong options. Right? So right now you just have rock. Right now we'll just say your ledge jump is rock. We need our own paper and scissors to play the game, though. Because if we just do rock, then all he has to do is just paper, and then he'll
Yeah.
always beat us. If he always does full hop bear at the same time that we ledge jump, then we will always lose.
Yeah.
So, here's the really cool thing about ledge jump. So you could supplement it with other options, but you could also supplement it with other timing. Because you could just do ledge jump at a different time,
Yeah.
and then he'll miss the bear.
So I'll just have to look back at this later and figure out specifically, because this happens with other players too, where I'll jump. It's because of something he did that made me want to do it, and in this scenario, it's just a Zare. I was like, oh shit, let me get off the ledge.
So that's good that you pinpointed that. Or that's your theory at least. The Zare
Yeah.
is what made you jump.
Yeah, it was either the Zare or the down tilt.
So let's think of a couple things here. Well, that Zare is already gone, right?
Yeah.
That Zare, that plunger, where did it disappear? Oh wait, he didn't do it. Wait, where was it?
Yeah, I'm like just jumping instantly, bro. I'm just fucking scared or some shit. And then I do it
There's
again.
no Zare that happens.
Yeah, there's no Zare.
But he did get close to the ledge, right? So maybe him down tilting, maybe that's what's making you jump immediately.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, get me out of here.
So, it's earlier we talked about how like someone could outspeed you, right? In the time it takes Luigi to put out 2 aerials, you do 1. That means he's twice as fast,
Yeah.
which means he gets to play the game twice as much, which is generally a bad thing. But let's say you're on ledge, right? We may want to try to do a ledge jump ASAP because we want to play the game again ASAP. Because if we spend more time on ledge, then that just means Luigi gets to play the game more often, right?
Yeah.
Like if we just hung on ledge, that means he gets to do 10 down tilts instead of just 1, right? Or something like that. But like the game that he can play when you are on ledge is like not that crazy, right?
Yeah.
So we could think about it from that lens, and maybe that'll help us create different timings for our jump, right? Instead of just trying to do jump instantly, maybe if we realize, okay, well, if he hits me with down tilt, that's not the
that
end
bad.
of the world.
Yeah, I think it was just a culmination of the weird, or not weird, but the grab. I get out the combo. I'm back in the combo. I'm at kill percent right now, and I just got Arsene, and I almost died to Zare Dare, and so like my mind was probably like scrambled a little. So because like other times throughout this set, I pick, I mix up the timing. So yeah, that makes sense. And maybe if I would have recognized like, yeah, what's the word? He's just gonna down tilt me, and like, yeah, if he gets a crazy dare, he could get a Zare Dare set up again, but he would have to get pretty precise timing for that.
Now, I just noticed something. You do play Joker, and Joker is actually like one of the few characters in the game that is hurt more than anyone else by just hanging onto ledge. Because if you have Arsene, then that means that's just wasted Arsene time, right?
Yeah.
So maybe that's another thing
Yeah.
that made you jump immediately.
That's what I was saying. I think it's a culmination of things. But in reality, I have 30 seconds with Arsene, and I'll have less seconds if I get hit. So really, it's not wasting it if I stay on ledge, if I think about it through that lens.
And here's another thing to consider. You ledge jumped, and you're actionable right now, right? Like, you could be pressing anything right about now.
Yeah, like I could have been throwing out that nair. Yeah, no,
The only like the only way for you to get like true punished for ledge jump is if Luigi hits you like right now,
during
like
this,
at this
yeah.
spot.
Okay.
But once you get to here, you can air dodge, you can double jump, you
Man.
can air dodge down. Have you ever seen ledge jump air dodge down?
No. You know, it's crazy you're saying this, because, like, I've known this, but I don't think I've ever, like, utilized this. Like, I had to have known that, like, you're actionable during that. Like, you said it, I'm like, duh. But, like, now I'm thinking about it, like, no, I guess I really never used it.
It's a thing. Look at do you use this website often?
Yeah. I used it a lot more when it was an app on my phone. Sad face.
Did you lose your phone?
No, I got a new phone and they got rid of the app from the app store, so.
Wow. Okay, I'm lucky then because I still have it. Thank you for telling me that so that I never
Well, only on iPhone. Like, you have an iPhone?
Okay. No, I have Android.
Oh, okay.
I'm good then.
Yeah, it's probably still on there. Yeah, but it's not a big deal, bro. I could probably literally make it an app, so.
Word.
But it was like all downloaded. Anyway, yeah, continue.
Ledge jump, 14 frames total, which means this shit is unreactable, which means someone if they want to hit you if they want to hit you right here,
Yeah,
they would have to read.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have to read not only what you're doing, but they have to read when you're doing it. They have to have two reads. Here, Luigi is walking back. You know what he's doing while he's walking back?
I don't feel like that's reacting, but.
So, it is.
Trying to. Oh,
it's
yeah.
just that. Yeah. He walks back, and you did ledge jump. And he saw ledge jump, so he's like, okay, let me attack him for ledge jump. But the point is, by the time he jumped up and bared you, you could play the game.
Yeah, like I could have thrown up in there earlier and it would have hit him. I could have air dodged down.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you could air dodge down, neutral air dodge to the platform. Basically, this is another scenario where he is aiming at you. We mentioned earlier how if someone aims at you, you could just roll through them, right?
Yeah.
So we took that scenario and we just made it vertical, right?
Yeah,
so
I could have rolled down, could have air dodged.
Yeah, exactly. You get it. You could just roll straight down and then he'll miss.
I could have jumped again.
Yep. Could have jumped. Could have done a lot.
There's a lot of things.
You could footstool him.
Yeah, I could footstool
him. So yeah, we get it. The issue was not that we ledge jumped, it's that we ledge jumped and did nothing. And we let him just aim at us. So this is, once again, more evidence to promote the idea that we want to be moving around more often than we are, right? Because as it turns out, the people that play this game just aim at us.
Yeah.
Which means, as long as we're not at point A for more than, let's say half a second, because like let's say it takes 20 frames to react to something, and then it takes like 10 frames for them to put out their move at us, then that's 30 frames total, which is half a second, right? So if we are at point A for half a second, then Luigi could realistically bear that, right? So never be at point A for more than half a second. You need to be constantly moving.
So I guess it's the next big thing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like I said, or like I feel like this is something I do, intuitively. I'm like, oh, I gotta stay moving, but yeah, I guess thinking about it like that is gonna help out a lot. Cause against Jordan, that dude you destroyed at LTC.
Yes.
Yeah, whenever I 3-0'd him, it was because before the set I was like, alright, what are the main things I gotta... It's to always be moving. So, like, obviously, like, I've played that way before, but I guess not knowing specifically... Like, I didn't get it down specific enough to just say, just move, LOL.
So
Wow, it all comes back. Whoa,
Yeah.
full circle moment.
I love full circle moments.
Dude, me
When
too.
you find something to fix in your gameplay, it's not enough to just say, "Oh, stop doing this." You need to be like,
Stop doing it,
"Oh,
lol.
you, you need to." I think this is a more specific moment where you need to, okay, stop doing this and replace it with this,
Yeah.
right? So here, it's not enough to just say, "Oh, just always be moving."
Yeah, or just mix up your
I should have been
timings.
moving.
Just mix up your
Mhm.
timings. Why? Why do you have
So
to? Yeah.
that's a separate thing. The timings are a separate thing. But like here we see, okay, so I jumped and then I didn't do anything. Okay, so do something. When you say do something, that's like generic and not helpful. So you need to be like, okay, I needed to ledge jump and then air dodge or fair or nair or air dodge down or
Or
footstool,
jump.
whatever,
Yeah,
right?
footstool.
Replace this nothing, replace this ledge jump into nothing with ledge jump into fair or whatever. So yeah. And then you mentioned timing. We could have also just
Yeah,
well,
I
if
was
we
saying the
did ledge
timing
jump
because of
instead
the
timing,
ledge trump timings.
So ledge trump is a counterplay that Luigi can do to you waiting on ledge. And that is something that would make us want to ledge jump instantly as well.
Yeah. Well, I haven't labbed it, but every time I buffer DI in whenever I get ledge trumped. And so every time he's ledge trumped me, I always reversal him and kill him for it because I'm always buffering dying in. Because I know like he likes to go for ledge trumps.
That
Sorry,
is
tell me
wonderful.
that.
You have found out another level of counterplay to ledge trumps, and it's something that prevents you from just jumping instantly. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Let's continue with the VOD. And here, this is another instance of you.
Tom, no!
So here, you just ledge jump and then you dare. And where did you dare?
Where he was.
Yep.
I'm mashing Tom, bro. What is this?
You're
Not
Tom,
like this.
and you got Jerried. He
Again.
frying pan the doorway. Here he tried to read your ledge jump, and you just didn't do it. So this is the other power of ledge jump. So like not only I guess we didn't explicitly state this yet, but like ledge jump is strong not only because it is unreactable, but because it is something that lets you play the game. It is like the best way to reversal someone from ledge.
Yeah.
You get off of ledge, plus you could land with an aerial and then put them off stage. Something, right?
Yeah, like you said earlier, it takes 2 reads to beat, and it's like an invincible DP. It works without needing it to be used because you have to, double read it.
Yep.
That was great. I don't know why that didn't spike. It might not have even killed anyway.
Yeah, perhaps not. If you want, you could spend time looking at the hitbox. You know more about Joker than I do, so like maybe you could figure out what you could have done to make this spike. But yeah. And here you're doing classic Joker ledge traps, where you put out the nair first to cover ledge jump, right?
Yeah.
And then if ledge jump doesn't happen, then you just react to what happens after. And there you tried to react with bear. That doesn't hit ledge roll in time. Or at least it didn't this time. We're just a little slow on it.
Yeah, I was a little off. Yeah.
We talked about simplification at the start. Ledge traps are what are like a classic example of simplification. There's just like 5-ish things that people can do on ledge. So putting yourself here, it looks like you already have a decent understanding of like what you want to prevent, right? We want to prevent Luigi rolling, and we want to prevent him from jumping. So if we stand in this spot, then we could potentially bear him or back throw him for rolling, and then if he jumps, we could potentially like up air that. Of course, we would be up airing at a point where he can play the game again. So like he might be able to like down B our up air, but we've
That would be
risk.
crazy. Yeah, that'd be a crazy thing to go for. Let's jump down B.
Right? So, spot that you've put yourself in is a very, it seems like a well-intentioned spot.
And then I wisely tilt.
Yeah, this is
I
the
can't
issue.
even explain it. Yeah, I don't even. I feel like the core issue with this is that I focus so hard on punishing neutral get up too often, when in reality it's still a good situation for me. So even though he's obviously jumped, I had to react to him jumping. I don't know why I would still like F tilt.
So this is. I'm sorry to hurt you, but this is another Tom moment.
Yeah.
It's you aiming, so you're not only aiming at a normal get up, but like a normal get up didn't even happen.
Yeah.
It's like you just perceive that Jerry is gonna do that, and then you aim at the Jerry. But first of all, that didn't happen. Jerry didn't go through the doorway, but you still attacked it. And then secondly, you really shouldn't be attacking normal get up anyways, like you said, because they're still in the corner, which is still good for us.
Yeah, I think one thing I want to transition to instead is using it, not necessarily as read, but like if I have a read on it, save it for like, not a read, but like, because you can react and S smash it, and I don't get kills off a neutral get up, I just repeat the situation. So it's like, even in the scenario that I practice and I, enforce, it's not a good scenario, or it's not a high reward scenario. It's just like a low risk, or not low risk. It's low reward. Repeat the scenario until I get Arsene.
So I would say what you I would say maintaining an advantage for as long as possible is like a very high reward thing, because if you could theoretically just like back air every ledge roll and up air / back air every ledge jump, like when they fall from the jump, and everything else just ends with them being in the corner, then no matter what, you are in a good position.
Yeah.
It's like a win-win-win. And if you can, if the game gets so simplified to this, right, to where I just react to these, and if these don't happen, then they're in a bad spot for them, then eventually you'll win the game. Because eventually, like, this good scenario will have happened so much that you just win. Have you ever played Light before?
Light? The Fox?
Correct.
No, I've never played against him.
Well, one thing that might happen to you if you play him is you might be put on ledge, and then he just like nairs at ledge over and over again.
Over and over again.
And yeah, and that's the key phrase: over and over again. Right? We have found essentially an infinite. Some of the strongest positions in Smash are things that loop into themselves over and over again. So like if you could just do Fox Snare, and if it taps them, they get put on ledge again, and if it doesn't tap them, then you just react to whatever they did do, like ledge roll or something, and then you back throw the ledge roll, and then it puts them on ledge again, and then you just nair again, yada yada, right? You get it.
Yeah.
Loops are the reason why Luigi is good, because he just grabs you, and then it's down air into nair, into down air, into whatever, right?
Yeah.
Down air loop. Kazuya is good because he's just
looping
electric.
And Steve is good because he just loops into...
Yes. So here we have found Joker's electric. It's ledge traps. He can do it.
Over and over again, and Luigi has bad. So I should. I probably wasn't doing it enough, but just playing anti-reversal and ledge.
Yes.
Is the key. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just play anti-reversal, and that's I forget if I mentioned that earlier, but that's pretty much what Devuz did.
Yeah. Yeah, you did mention that.
Conservative. Yep. Anti-reversal. There's no way you're going to be able to play the game again on your terms unless I fuck up really, really bad.
Yeah.
But I've practiced this ledge trap to where that's not going to happen. And then here, you gave it up. Just like I wanna actually aim at Luigi. And well,
Right.
Luigi
does something wild.
so he's no longer there.
I didn't think he would fall off the platform, but it makes sense. He does that little bounce at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I aimed at where he was again.
Mm-hmm. Even then, you could have like, could have maybe up smashed it or up tilted it.
Yeah.
Just throwing out an idea for like what could have hit both him staying on the platform and him falling off the platform. I think up smash would have hit both.
Yeah, I think the core issue in that was obviously, the miss, but that, like, when I'm scared, I just dash back too far. And I think if I just, like, truly, like, just visualize that there was no way he could have contested the range I was already at once he cycloned.
So, earlier when I said it's nice to not stay at point A for too long, here's an issue that you have where you go a bit too far away from point A.
Yeah.
Because if you go too far away from point A, you can't really punish Luigi.
Yeah.
For who's gonna put himself at point A in a second, right?
This is another issue I have, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Going too far. So, not only do we need to be moving constantly, or rather, not only is it generally good to be moving constantly, but if you are going to move, it shouldn't be like huge movements. It needs to be like little zigzag, right? I'm gonna draw something for you. I'm gonna draw a representation of this.
And that makes so much sense what you just said, because like that was a big thing with the Steve matchup, is that I would try to make big movements, like, oh, I'm gonna just go threaten wall immediately from fucking roll distance. Like, no, let me get next to it first, then threaten the possibility, breaking it into phases. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, if we just stay here, that's bad.
Yeah.
If we do big movements like this, or like this, it's also bad. It's too much. So we need something like this.
Consistent.
Something like this.
Yeah.
Smaller. Smaller, but it's still movement, right? Like, what's the point of going from point A, which is like let's say the left corner, all the way to the right corner, and then back to the left corner? It's like in that time, Luigi could like make a sandwich, and then like grab you anyways, because he sees that you're going from A, which is here, to B, to back to A, right? So he could make a sandwich at A as you're going like this, and then by the time you come back, he just grabs. Plunger. So if A and B were more like boom to boom to boom, then in the time it takes for him to attack A, you've already gone to B, and then you could whiff punish him with like dash attack, and he won't be able to take another turn by then, because your movements were smaller, which gives him less time to do shit. The reason why Joker's full hop is so good is because it's It's so fast volley that even though it looks like this shape,
It's
it
actually
effectively,
yeah.
it's like this. It's like other people's that.
And so is that why? That's why his short hop is even better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where other characters have like super shitty full hops because
Like
theirs are
Luigi?
actually like that. Yeah. Your full hop is essentially like a short hop, but with like a little bit of extra time, like a little tiny bit.
Yeah.
So yeah. Bring back the thing. Okay. I feel like with what we've talked about so far, you might be able to like go through the rest of the set yourself and just like get it. Do you have any more questions?
Okay. So, where should I go from here? So obviously, I found some pretty big core issues. I think the biggest one that like I faintly knew about, but like is just clicking in my head now that I don't know is like the point A, like or like moving too far. That one's huge because I literally do it all the time, way too much. And the and the other one you said where I swing, the Tom and Jerry analogy, like I always knew it was weird because I always knew it was a thing, an issue I had, like it was like hidden, like I knew it was hidden, and it was an issue I had, but that I never fixed. So obviously, like I would go into fixing those, but where do I go from there next, or just like just keep watching this with the frame we've had in mind and see if there's any more mistakes that come up that I can fix, or
So, like you said at the beginning, you're a learner. You love the learning process, and I think you're based for that. The point of like me giving these analogies and showing you these things was like I showed you how I was able to find them to begin with,
yeah,
and it was just by asking questions, right? I figured out Tom and Jerry. I figured out this like phenomena because I asked questions. I asked, where are people aiming, right? I figured out like stuff for you to do on go, and for you to do like just in neutral. Like let's say you and Luigi are close together, like in a quote unquote scrap. I already knew something you could do based on like observations that I have made before and have thought about. So, and I figured out. By the way, we didn't really fully fledged like the things we could do on ledge. So I guess we could talk a little bit more about that before I really leave. But
before
essentially,
I really leave.
yeah, the thing for you to do next, I think, is to look at VODs and try to perceive what is going on.
Yeah.
By just pausing. You said earlier you like to watch VODs and you just watch them passively and think about them intuitively. That's what you said, almost word for word.
Oh,
and that's
I thought I was talking about how I do game plans for matchups. But yeah, no, like my VOD review process, it varies based on how I'm feeling for some reason. But sometimes it's either super in depth, or what I usually like to do is, especially with like a VOD like this that pissed me off, is I'll watch it like to warm up to it, and I'll be like, oh fuck, dude, I hate Luigi. But like I'll write down. Usually, what I'll write down is like, oh, what made me mad. And I'll try to understand, like, maybe a common interaction that happened that made me mad or something. And then when I come back later, I go in depth. But usually, my best VOD review recently was when I watched it at half speed, and I did what you said. Like, I was just trying to perceive everything. But I wasn't, like, stopping every second. It was more so, like, I was just taking note of an interaction and then bringing it up again later if it happened, and then taking away the bigger ideas.
Mm-hmm. I am so glad that you watched at half speed, because that is a technique that helps you perceive better, right? Like there are, and by the way, you can go faster than normal speed as well, right? You can
Yeah.
go slower than normal speed. You can go faster than normal speed.
Yeah, no,
But
for
so when you ask like what made me mad, and you try to figure out what made you mad, try to also be more constructive about it. In that, okay, this made me mad. What can I do to fix that? What can I do either in game or out of game to fix that? And then just theory craft, like we did at the beginning, like on Go. We basically just theory crafted possibilities, and there's more than just who, what, when, where, why. You could ask yourself. You could ask yourself bigger questions like, or you could ask yourself goal questions. What are my goals, right? And we figured like there are goals that are let's say like granular goals. Let's say like on a per game basis. Like my goal is to put Luigi off stage and not get grabbed by Luigi, right? But then you could have bigger goals like to be the best player of so and so, or in your region, or of all time, or whatever. It's nice to have goals at as many levels as you can think of, whether it be like let's say granular like per match goals. We could have weekly goals. We could have longer term PR season goals. We could have long term life goals, right?
yeah.
Like to be healthy or something.
Yeah. So
to stay well.
it's like you said, the 5 years. What do I want to be in 5 years goal? It's not something you're like, oh, I'm gonna achieve this. Like if my goal was to be the best player in the world in 5 years, it's not that I care about achieving it in 5 years. It's just that, like, it's just something to look forward to. And it's similar to like, the short term goals. Like I feel like the short term goals would be like, oh, I want to improve at this skill, like getting better at Tom and Jerry, and then the 3 month goal is more specific. Like maybe I want to see how long I consistently hold my advantage or whatever. But I think another thing that you just made me realize is that the most important skill I learned is asking myself better questions. So I'll definitely need to practice that. Because that one's big. Because whenever I can ask myself questions, like the VOD review goes smooth, I can, critically think about the game. But whenever I'm not, like, able, like when I just can't think of questions to ask myself, like it doesn't fluidly work like that.
It comes with time.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the first time I started to VOD review seriously was when quarantine started. And I did it because I was like, I'm pretty sure I don't actually know anything about this game. Let me actually try to figure out how this game actually works. And then I just watched top level VOD, like Leo versus Tweak from Frostbite many years ago and stuff like that. Yeah. And I literally just asked myself, why did he do that? I would ask myself that like every time Leo did something or every time Tweak did something.
Yeah.
And then every time I asked that question, okay, well, you'd think, okay, well, then what, right? Peeb asked the question, but then how does he get the answer? Well, then I theory craft, like, the possible solutions, like, of why, right? Oh, maybe he did it because of this. Maybe he did it because of that. And then I just play through the VOD again. Maybe that scenario shows up. And maybe he does it again for a reason that made sense earlier to me. And then it's like, maybe I was right. Maybe my theory is right. But then maybe I see something that doesn't make sense, then that's evidence that says my theory is wrong. So the more that I watch, and the more that I ask, and the more that I perceive, I'm able to get closer and closer and closer to what is actually the answer. And this Tom and Jerry thing just came from me realizing where people can go, where people can aim at, and why that is good or bad.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Here's a common scenario. People aim at each other, so this Luigi just ran up and like fared and then nared at Joker. I've seen this a million times, so when I saw it happen in your set, I just like, oh, duh. This is what I've seen before. So I already understood that Luigi is a Tom, and I understood how to beat a Tom. and then I just kind of eased you into the idea of like, oh, you could roll in to beat a tom.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's like I may already know these ideas, but it's like putting it together in a puzzle that makes sense, you know.
Yep. And there are
Just
many ways
understanding
to
it.
beat a tom.
Yeah.
Than just doing roll, because like by definition a tom just aims at you, but by definition we've already come up with like a lot of places where you could be, right? You could be up, you could be down. If you're on a platform, you could be down, you could be left, you could be right, right? So that's at least 4 other solutions. You could be up, down, left, right, and a tom won't hit you. So yeah. And by the way, you can go on quick play right now, and there's a high chance that the first person you play is a tom,
Yeah.
and there's a high chance that you can just like roll in on them and they'll miss. And then you'll get like dash attacks and stuff. So that's something for that's a playground for you to test your theories, by the way. Quick play. You can just go on quick play, and I don't care if it's a little laggy. Toms are still going to be toms.
Yeah.
And it's important to have a safe space for you to practice ideas. Like, I don't want you to care about GSP at all. I want you...
I never play quick play, dog. I'm not gonna lie, so I could give a shit less about that.
Perfect, right? When I was first learning how to drive, my sister brought me to a wide open parking lot. And why that's important is that it made me want to actually drive. I got my driver's license pretty late, like 18 years old. Everyone else got it at like 16, 17. But it was her bringing me to this parking lot, huge empty parking lot, where I could just drive her car in peace without fear of like crashing or anything bad happening, right? I could do fucking donuts and be chill in this big open parking lot. It made the learning experience fun.
Yeah, I wish that happened with me. I was fucking anxious as fuck my first time. But yeah, no, that makes sense. So, whereas if I try to practice this and the only scenario where I get to play offline is going to be at tournaments, then like I'm going to be stressed trying to make it work. It's not going to be practice enough.
Exactly. So does this answer the question of what you need to do going forward?
Yeah. I think I've got a decent idea of what I'm gonna have to do. Cause like my thing is I've lately it was like I don't think I'm gonna end up being the best in the world or anything like that. But like, dude, like out of nowhere is like it just came out. It was like, dude, I want to beat everyone's ass, man. I want to be good. I want to like I always had the improving mindset for like the past 2 years. But like now the motivation to like get good came, and it's like I'll do a lot of VOD reviews and I study and try to learn a lot, but it's too much input, and the asking myself better questions is exactly the output that I need that I haven't been using. So, and it's like I knew asking myself questions was a good thing. I just never did it.
So this brings me back to the very start. Like, the asking questions thing is basically just a tactic, a technique. But like, what gets us to do that technique? It's us wanting something, right? I said at the very start, if you want information, you ask questions, right? So it's not just you asking questions that's gonna get you to improve. It's you wanting to improve.
Yeah.
It's gonna get you to improve. And then you do that by asking questions, and you do that by VOD review, and you do that by going into the parking lot, and you do that by looking at your goals again, and just making sure that what you are doing is actually getting you closer to your goal. If at any point you're like, I don't know if this is helping me, you could just look at your goals and see and ask yourself, oh, does this thing that I'm doing align with one of my goals? Will this actually help me? Right? So like, I could give another example for that, but I won't think of one on this. I'll think of Kobe Bryant. you could just ask yourself, would Kobe Bryant be okay with me doing this right now? And you'll usually get like a good answer. So, well, does me playing multiverses help me in Smash? Would Kobe Bryant approve of this?
Yeah, no, it's just to have fun.
Yeah. So yeah, it's more than just asking questions. It's like the why am I asking questions? it's the what did I want to begin with? And it's important to know that you can do it too. Because if you know that you can drive, then you'll be more happy to do it, or you'll be more likely to, right? Like someone who believes they can be an astronaut is more likely to actually try for it. So yeah, you already gap people in your scene because you have what you call the growth mindset. You've been wanting to learn. Other people would probably just like show up and play, but they may not want to learn. You already have a step. You're already a step above them in that regard.
Yeah, everyone wants to learn and get better. You know, for the most part, everyone that's better. But like I just like learned a lot of soft skills that I haven't been able to translate because I haven't had enough output. Like asking myself questions or improving. But I really love what you said, where you said if you want information, you ask yourself questions. Like that. I mean, that's not much, but like that just like it just made so much sense in my mind because like I'll be like, why do I want to ask myself a question? To improve, but it was missing the information. Like, obviously, you ask questions to get information, but I don't know. Just sometimes putting it together is just enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
I gave you awesome. A lot to think about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I gave you a lot to think about, and this stuff takes time.
Oh, for sure.
I don't want to like rush you. Like let this shit sit with you, and really think about it, and truly get it.
Yeah, and it was all recorded, so I can definitely just look at it again. So my last so Monday through Fridays you're good to do sessions? Yep. All right.
Yep.
I'll probably book not soon, but probably in 2 weeks or so. But I couldn't find the paper, but Andrew Huberman talks about it in this video, the thing I was telling you about earlier. Basically, the premise of this was that if you were to tell kids, oh, you're so smart, versus, oh, you're such a hard worker, the kids who were told they were a hard worker wanted to work harder and they performed better, and the kids who were that were told they were smart lied about their grades and performed worse, and then developed a bunch of issues or whatever.
That is awesome. Because that makes a lot of sense to me.
And so what the whole premise of it is that we can even though you could be 40 and you were one of the kids you were a smart kid, right? But you can reframe, you can compliment what other people tell you doesn't matter, because you can do this to yourself. Oh, dude, I got fucked up by that Luigi, but at least I put in a lot of work preparing for it, and I tried to do better. And now I'm doing it again. I put in work to fuck up this Luigi, and so at least I'm doing that. And you can't get results, but you can get actions. So I know a lot of shit, but I've kind of done a poor job of organizing it and reflecting on it and putting it together. So I think asking questions is the next missing piece. So where I go from here, practice what you said with the asking questions. I think that's going to be the biggest thing to level up my game. And the Tom and Jerry thing's big because I kind of just truly didn't realize how big of an issue it was that I consistently do this and I consistently fuck this up.
So what can you replace aiming at someone with?
well, there's timing mix-ups. I don't have to aim at them at all. I can aim at where they're going, or I can just choose to go for a better situation. So like in that example where I was aiming at Luigi on the right side of PS2 and he got that grab, I could literally just disengage and reclaim a neutral situation.
Those are all valid answers. And then there's even more probably. Like if you could
Yeah.
attack 2 places at once, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like with an item. So, yeah, I don't have much else to say.
Yeah,
I think
no.
this is just a good match. I'm glad you're happy about it.
Oh yeah,
I'm
this was
glad,
awesome, dude.
Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for listening.
I mean, I paid for it, so. Well, not really, but yeah.
All right, let's end it here.
Yeah.
Have a good day, Yeha.
Thank you for your time. Good luck with your. What's your next tournament?
I got like a month break.
Oh, okay.
And by break, I mean I'm gonna be studying and practicing during this time. But my
Hey.
next tourney is 1 month from now. It's POS 2024 in Ohio.
Okay. Wait, what
Gonna have
region are
Leia.
you from? Oh, it's gonna have
I'm from
Leia?
South Carolina.
South Carolina? Oh shit. So you're gonna be at Patchwork?
Yes, I am.
I won't.
Oh well. Wait, where are you from?
Louisiana, the same region as Jordan.
Bet. Okay.
Yeah, fuck, there was something else I was gonna say. Damn it. Oh, yeah, are you going to SmashCon? Or Supernova?
Yeah. Yes, I am.
I might be there. But, yeah, dude, this was awesome. I'll definitely book one again. Oh, okay. Do you care about what time of day it is? Like, I know some people prefer different things. Like, personally, I'm a morning person. So, like, I like getting my hard work done in the morning. It's where my mind's freshest,
Okay. Then. I try to be a morning person. I woke up today at like 9:30, which is pretty good.
Me too.
Like, okay. I thought for a second that you might be like a 5 a.m. person.
Nah, not that level. Normally like 7,
Holy-
8 a.m.
Okay.
Nah,
Okay.
we're not doing a coaching session at 5 a.m.
Yeah, I'm down for AM sessions.
Okay.
I can double check later to see if I have, if I actually put that on Medify, for you to be able to schedule in the AM.
No,
But,
that's all at
if-
1.
Okay. If not, it doesn't really matter what you put down on Medify. You can just DM me on Discord. Like,
Yeah.
hey, can we do this at I
And
scheduled
you'll
for 1, but
verify.
Can we do it at it? Yeah, exactly.
Sweet. Yeah, no, like I said, this was awesome. You really helped out because, like, I feel like, this is just ingrained to our brains, but, like, you're always looking for, like, the next big thing. And, I didn't realize that, obviously I know with improving mindset that it's, like, the small things add up, but, like, really through looking at small things, I discovered a big key component I'm missing in my thought process, so. Great job.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
For sure. Also, quick thing, because I remembered I forgot to talk about this. When you said you sometimes VOD review at half speed, one really cool thing you can do is sometimes you can also VOD review at
Twice.
double speed.
Yeah.
And the reason why that can work is because it's essentially like looking at a time lapse of a plant, where if you look at a plant, yeah,
What the fuck?
you will see things that would not have been present to you, or made apparent to you at normal speed or at half speed,
Really?
and that only become apparent to you when it's sped up.
It's interesting. Like, do you have an example, or if not, it's fine.
Yeah, well, the plant, because if you have you ever just stared at a plant in real life before?
Yeah.
Did you see it change?
No.
Well, what if you took a time lapse of a plant from 1 month to 1 year old?
Well, yeah, there'd be a lot of change.
Yeah. It's because you get to, instead of looking at the plant every day for a year, and noticing no change every day because it's just like 1 day older every day, you get to see a time lapse of it, and then you'll see, oh my god, it changed so much in 1 year, right? You could do that with
so I can literally see like what I'm doing differently, like easier.
Yes. Well, easier is not the word I would use, but it's more like you will see different things at different speeds.
Yeah.
So like at
okay.
normal speed, we can see you be a Tom, and we could see the other guy be a Tom. But like if we play at double speed, we'll be seeing entirely different things. Like at double speed, we'll be seeing like entire shapes being drawn on the stage, right? Like we could see, one thing that I saw once was when I played a Jackal VOD at double speed, I saw that he does like a McDonald's M across the stage, like wolf,
yeah.
full hop.
Yeah, what the fuck? That's funny as fuck.
Yeah, so you see different things at different speeds.
Yeah,
is just my point.
And that makes sense because like our brains process so fast that like it's super recently vised that like where you'll kind of forget that he's doing that, but it happens so much faster so you can see it for what it is.
So like, do you see? So like, this is a time lapse of 7 days, but all that it just happened in like a few seconds,
Yeah.
right? But if you looked at these plants in real life and you like noted the changes between like day 1, hour 1, and day 1, hour 2, you wouldn't see shit. You would see no difference.
Yeah.
So then if you just did it like this, like if you sped shit up, then it's like, oh wait, there's the difference.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try that.
Okay, I see. Yeah. Okay.
Sweet.
Okay, that's my final
that.
thing for real.
Yeah,
for sure.
Hey, no, you're good. I appreciate it. Down here in Louisiana, we call that a little lanyard. You ever heard of that word?
Oh. No, what the fuck did you just say?
Lanyard. It's a little extra. Let me see. I don't even think I can spell it. I'm not gonna lie.
Lanya. A little extra. Okay. Like
yeah, like
I put a little like a sprinkle on top.
Yeah,
at the end.
Its definition is something given as a bonus or an extra gift. So like,
Oh.
I don't know. It's some fucking Cajun shit, but I think it's like used like they'll be like, oh, you know, that's a little lanyard, like an extra seasoning or some shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly.
You gave me a little lanyard.
There you go. All right. For real, have a good one.
Hey, you too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.